It's a lovely good evening. It's a Thursday, and we are back right here on Ubuntu channel with your favorite program, NSAKA. And want to apologize for the poor lighting. We are still working out the current power situation, but nevertheless, our program goes on, and we would like you to invite someone so that we together help each other, teach one another, and form a better society for our countries. And even those in the diaspora, what we discuss here is to build homes, bring back morality, and ensure that we have a strong family that is heading in the right direction. Himba, welcome to Ubuntu channel. It's been a while. Great to have you. How's been your day?
Not bad, not bad. Good evening, viewers. Good evening, CJ. Good evening, Evangelist or Counsellor Shaabula. It's nice to be on the program, and it's nice to be back and interact with our beautiful viewers out there. Once again, good evening.
Evangelist, been a while. Great to have you. How's been the day?
Hello.
Good evening, Evangelist. Are you there?
Okay, yes, I am. Thank you so much. It's great to be on set again. We are ready for the program. It's wonderful that the Lord has been gracious to each one of us and that we are here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. Well, viewers, tonight we are looking at a very critical subject. We are looking at something that has been happening in our different communities, and we've had several incidents where partners are harming their spouses. Now, just to lay a background and just to give you just a picture of what has been on, I'm going just to read a few passages. The first passage is of an incident that happened early last month. Okay, so recorded a case in which a former banker employee, Mike Shebo, allegedly strangled and stabbed his wife to death before taking his own life. In a statement Thursday, police public relations officer Hamonga described that Lishebo allegedly strangled his wife, Valerie Franco, age 35, using an electric power cord, cable, and subsequently stabbed her in the stomach with a knife. He stated that the matter reported to police on 3rd April around 16:05 hours by Alice Mapanga of Chalala Hill area. Okay, so another incident involves former Zambia Air Force commander, that is Ronnie Shikapwasha. So this one, we read it from Zambia report. The passage reads as follows. Former Zambia Air Force ZAF commander Ronnie Shikapwasha's wife, Lucien 73, has pleaded not guilty to kill her husband. On March 20, NSAKA Magistrate Court committed Lusengo to the High Court for trial in a matter she is accused of shooting dead her husband. So, is yet another story. Okay, so husband faces trial in wife's murder case following horrific attack. In a chilling case that has shocked the community in Mwinilunga district, a 42-year-old man, Patrick Sangula, has been found with a case to answer. Technology. The story seems to have disappeared. Well, for the sake of progress, viewers would like to bring into this discussion and would like to discuss issues that are going around our community without particular reference to the stories that I've read. We have been seeing a lot of these cases where a wife kills the husband kills the wife, suicide, violence in homes, and these things keep on happening. Now, tonight's discussion centered around this, and the question we are asking is, why are couples killing each other? So before I bring in Evangelist, Himba, and the other guests that we have online, please tag someone, share this podcast, and make sure that you participate by clicking that like button or the heart button. Put a comment in the comment section, and there will be a line that will be shared, a link as well that will be shared, where you can join the studio and we can have the conversation together. Well, I've spoken too much. Let me bring in Himba. Himba, you bring in Evangelist. Himba, you.
Thank you once again, CJ. You know, it's really sad, and it's like these incidents are happening every day, and they're on an increase. And how I wish we could find the root cause, or we could get to the bottom, so that no other person find themselves in such a situation. However, before we go any further, allow me to bring in Evangelist Shaabula. Evangelist Shaabula, good evening once again.
Good evening, Himba, and how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It is nice again to share the platform together.
Thank you so much.
Evangelist, looking at what CJ has read through, some of the scenarios he has brought forth, I mean, this is just evidence to our viewers that we are not just speaking from without. These issues are affecting the higher class, the lower class, the middle, the educated ones, non-education, educated. It doesn't matter what is your society status. It is affecting everyone. And when you look at it, it looks like it's on the increase. What is really going on? Evangelist.
Thank you, Himba, and everyone else. The topic that we have is quite a serious one, because as you rightly put it, it has no boundaries. It cuts across the old, the very old, the young, and everyone is involved in it. And as a result of this, it has become actually an epidemic, if I may use that word. You know, it is an outbreak that has engulfed the whole country of Zambia. And so something must be done in order to bring down this scourge. Something must be done. And one of the things that must be done is to educate the masses, such as this particular program that we have. It is meant to educate us that are victims, and us that can actually be found in such an act. Now, I'll just go through a few points which I jotted as I was considering this particular topic. Now, there are many reasons, there are many causes for a person to behave that way. And this is actually what is causing the problem. Some of the causes are, number one, wrong use of phones. Wrong use of phones. When I say wrong use of phones, we all know that a phone is a wonderful tool which we use for communication. It helps and makes life easier for us. But the same phone can be misused or abused by talking to boyfriends or girlfriends out there. You can talk to them in your bedroom. You can talk to them on the bed. You are lying or sleeping with your wife. You face the other direction, and the wife also faces the other direction. but both of you are either both of you are typing messages to your girlfriends who are out there. And when one discovers that this is what is happening, they feel injured and disrespected. And this becomes the root cause for the fight, which in most cases ends up into death. So wrong use of phones. Sometimes it is messages that are sent. Sometimes it is actually on the phone. Sometimes it is the videos on phone created by either the wife and the boyfriend or the husband with a girlfriend. So this affects the life of the family and cause people to fight and end up killing each other. The other reason is actually infidelity. Infidelity, I'm talking about not being faithful. You have extra maritals. You have got girlfriends out there, or you've got boyfriends out there, even when you are married. And when your colleague discovers that you have a child there, or you are going out with a certain lady, that can also be a source of quarrels and fights and eventually death. The other cause is actually jealous, desiring to have possession. She is mine, he is mine. And jealous can be sometimes without substance. It means sometimes you find that this gentleman has no information and no evidence about what he is suspecting. But just from without, you find that people are fighting and quarreling, and in the end, they kill each other. So jealous, if not well handled, can actually create a problem in the marriage. The other problem that is there is actually, dragging, past problems, past issues. You bring an issue which was sorted out already, and you feel you are not satisfied, you want to bring it up, you find that the other person is frustrated and is angry, and then you begin fighting and then end up killing each other. The other problem that it brings this is the consumption of alcohol. Alcohol can also create a problem. You find that sometimes some fights may start from food, because maybe the wife did not leave or did not prepare chicken or beef or meat. You find that the man who even didn't leave any money for the wife to buy a chicken or beef will demand for a chicken. So the wife, because she's also frustrated, she will answer in a bad way, to the point whereby these people begin fighting. It will start from Shima, from Ndio, and then from there they start fighting and then kill each other. Because the other gentleman is drunk and he does not know exactly what he's doing. He might start beating his wife. Even when the wife says "Mwanipaya, mwanichita," the gentleman will not listen. He will go on and on and on and on until the wife is dead. So consumption of alcohol or overconsumption can create a problem in the marriage. The other one is actually blocking a partner of her, her progress. You block her, she wants to progress, but you are stopping her. And in the meantime, you are not supporting her. And you have got girlfriends that are out there actually betraying her. Where each person, what we must understand here, CJ and Himba, is
Okay, we seem to have lost Evangelist there. Network issues as usual. However, this is live TV and we continue. So viewers, we are looking at why are couples killing each other. This arises from the many incidents that we've been seeing of couples that have been at each other's throat, couples that have committed suicide, that have killed the partner for marital dispute. And we are trying to drill down to this and help each other, ensuring that we learn to handle situation. Now, please tag someone, invite someone, share this link with someone so that we'll be able to help somebody that might be in a situation, in a toxic situation that can prevent death. We have been seeing these things going around, so don't take it for granted. You might not be directly affected, but there's a friend of yours who needs this kind of help and this kind of art. So make sure you share, invite someone, tag someone, and let's have this conversation together. I can see Evangelist is back. I don't know if our director can. Okay, great. Evangelist, please, you can continue.
Yes. The other point is actually blocking progress of your partner. Blocking progress of your partner. Blocking progress of your partner can frustrate your friend, especially where you are not supporting her or you are not supporting him. In most cases, it is the women that suffer because the man suspects that at the place of work, there's a husband, there's another man who is interested in his wife. So sometimes they would want to block this lady from employment, from running a business, from achieving whatever they want. And this can be a source of frustration of your wife or your husband. And then you begin fighting and kill each other. The other one is actually, consumption of drugs. Consumption of drugs. When you take drugs such as the Lubanje, Mbanje, Ashish, marijuana, or heroin, or cocaine, or other drugs of some type. Most of the people that are on drugs have got problems because the mind is not stable and the judgment is impaired. When these are affected, they can do wrong things, including fighting with their wives or their husbands, and even kill because of the same. So we need to be very careful. The other problem that can create, fighting and each other is the blame game. There are certain times when people would want to blame the other person for whatever has happened. Ndiyo amechita so, ndiyo amechita so, ndiyo amechita so, ndiyo amechita so. Uli chipuba, ine ndile chipuba. Ngangai chipuba kulie. And then somebody uses something lethal and then kills. We need to be very careful how we blame each other. This should not be allowed, not at all. The other people that actually find themselves in such issues whereby you begin fighting with your wife is the money matters. Money matters. Money matters, if not well handled, Himba, CJ, they can create untold miseries in the marriage. And then people begin fighting over money, either lack of money or too much money in the home. Whether it is too much or too little, it can be a source of problems. And the people, especially money, can cause you to fight nail and tooth so that you make sure that you get what you want. So let us not be pushed into killing each other because of lack of it or too much of it. The other one is actually, just rudeness. When you are rude to your husband or you are rude to your wife, the way you answer her, the way you deal with her, that can be, it will be answered with the rudeness also. And people start fighting each other because of the way things have come. And fights, they have no limits. You can go to the extent whereby you begin killing each other. So we need to be very careful with that. That goes together with insults. You know, there are people that insult. The husband insults, the wife insults, big insults. So sometimes when a person feels embarrassed, you would want to nizakupunzisa lero ajaira maningi. Now you don't know to what extent you go in teaching her. We could teaching this person wamena ajaira maningi. So let's avoid fighting. Let's be careful what we are using. If you are using a knife, you are using a weapon. You must know that the weapon has no limits. It will go beyond the extent of your of where you want to go, and it will take somebody's life. The other one is actually grudge. Grudge is close to jealous. Grudge can create a problem in the marriage and in the relationship that you have. All this can be a source of problem for people to fight and kill each other. And also lack of self-control. Lack of self-control. CJ and Himba, for me, lack of self-control is like a truck or a car which has no brakes. You get into the car, it has no brakes, and you just drive on and on. That car which has no brakes will end up running over somebody. So we need to exercise self-control as husband or wife, even in the way we get angry, in the way we speak, the way we handle each other. So we need to be to have self-control, so that we don't fight and kill each other. The other cause, root cause, is actually coming from a violent family. There are people that they were born in a violent family. They don't know how to sit and discuss and find solutions through reasoning. Every time they use muscles, they use blows to sort out a problem. That is not the right way. So here we need to be very careful. One, when you fight with your wife or with your husband and the children are watching, or they know that this is what you are doing, you are actually building in them a life of violence coming from you, the family. They are inheriting it. So people that come from violent families, in most cases, they will also be violent. And in most cases, they will also kill or injure somebody or divorce. So we need to be very careful, with the families we come from. We need to be very careful. The lack of assertiveness. We need to be assertive. So that is one of the reasons. The other issue is just disobedience. There are people that disobedience goes together with rudeness. Somebody who just choose not to listen to you. Kulibe muni uzachani, ibu mulibe manja. Onani vimanja vani. Futi mwe vimanja vani vikulu vauti mungafurumize na kupika nsima. Now you are asking me to cook. When a person is tired and is hungry, that can be a source of problems, and you not know how far you will go in fighting with your wife. So let us be very careful in what we do. So for now, let me end here so that we can have other contributions also coming in. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. You have given, I don't know if it's 13 points of some of the reasons why couples are killing each other in these homes. So before you answer, I'll throw this to him. Is it possible to know that partner wako ni possible murderer or ni potential murderer?
Thank you so much, CJ. But before I respond to your question, there are one or two things I would love to add to list the Yaba Evangelist.
Yes, please.
One, it's also the tradition, teachings, and values The norms also, they contribute to partners being on each other's throat. Because, you know, some traditions, teachings, they teach, like, let me give a practical example where they're going to put a man to be dominant over a woman. And definitely this man comes from a background where you are told a woman should not speak when you're speaking. A woman should not, there's a way he expects a woman to behave. And when the woman does not behave in that certain way he's been told, he thinks she's disrespecting me, she's rude. And then what happens? It will go into violence and probably even have a goal that will lead into killing that woman. Sometimes also going into marriage for wrong reasons. You know, you are going into marriage for status. You are going into marriage for me to be called Mrs. Somebody. You are going into marriage because that man is rich. But when you get into there, you find it's a different situation. You know, your expectations are not met. You end up becoming like, how do I come out of it? This is not a woman I expected. This is not what I expected from this man. At the end of the day, you become enemies. There's no connections. There's no chemistry between the two of you. You start, looking at how to eliminate each other. The other one is also friends. The kind of company we have, friends and families. Iwe mwamuna wako sangazi kuchita so. Sangazi kamba na iwe so. Oh, azachiona nzamutreat. Oh, you will see. He can't be talking to me like that. And even the wife, you know, just that peer pressure around us, it leads to such. So even as friends, let us be careful what we advise our friends when they come to us in confidence to talk about their marital situation. Let us be, what kind of advice do we give them? What do we say to them? And the other thing, even inheritance. If baziba kuti abamuna banisiya pawiu o banika pawiu kumuntu tekwa bachisuma mumubike pawiu chabipa bafwe bwangu nkasende wiu mumushe pawiu chabipa kumuntu tekwa whichever way. So even those inheritance, so these are some of the things that brings up also people to be on each other's throat, to kill each other, and also to end their partners' lives. Now coming to your question, I would say that it's a 50-50 situation, CJ. You may know, you may not know. Because a man, venangwanka na olomukazi ushitoona chati uyu mukazi uyu ali ba bruto uyu mwana kashi uyu ofa abafye nifi you know when they even live with armed robbers in the house. So if this person is an armed robber, he kills out there, what will stop him to come and kill you when you cross his path? But you still live with him and so sometimes you know that mwamuna wanga ni killer. Sometimes you don't know, but not bisa. And because at times you are in love, CJ, you don't even see the dark side of this person. No matter, and you know, this is one dark side of marriage, you know. This is one dark side. What usually happens, just because you're so much in love with this person, you're not able to accept the negatives that comes out of them, or you're not able to accept the things you see about them. You still convince yourself, so my wife, because you love this person so much. So sometimes we are in denial. Sometimes it's the love that blindfolds us. By the time you realize the damage has already been done. So basically, you can know, you may you may know, you cannot know. So it's a 50-50 situations. But can be whenever a murder is about to happen between a couple, there are always a red flag, but we always intend to ignore. Twaikalira abana inga abana banduka sunga ni nani what would society say? You are thinking of all those. There's always a red flag. There are signs. There are signs. Everything is around. You even know each question. Even people bamakamba abakuntangu kwetienda. This will not end well. There's always a red flag. Timaziba ichintienda so. But you know chikwati chovuta. I submit.
Thank you very much, him. Evangelist, we are looking at red flags. How can you tell that my partner is a potential murderer our home situation doesn't seem to be on a going concern.
The question again, you are not very clear. I'm able to get Himba clear yourself. I don't know what's happening. What's the question? Can I ask Himba to ask the same question?
Okay. His question is, what are the red flags or the indicators, the red flag or the indicators that may come when the murder is about to take place between the two partners?
Are you saying, how do you know that this one is a murderer?
No, we one day anganipai. We one day anganipai. CJ ma situations yamaoneka tima yachitaigino, and I think china church matipaisa ni society. You know, Uganza nikachokamo, what would society say? What is the stigma outside there? What are people going? But most of the times you see how this person, but in sometimes you may not know. And sometimes when a partner is killed, you don't even like realize. It depends on the situation. Let's talk about a partner who is a drug addict, who is alcoholic, and sometimes probably you think it's an argument every day. Counts on that particular day, it goes the other way, you know. Yeah, sometimes vakange vagaini vanhu vakachamba vamabhema rionse vamuna vanga vamabhema iyo day kanzi vabhema yachingoni vabwera he's in a different situation, but timaziva masigns most yamazivika in most cases. It's one or two situations where you may not know, where it could be an accident. Sometimes it's an accident. Somebody did not really mean to kill the partner, but timaziva.
Wow. Viewers, from time and time again, we want to interact with you. We want to hear from you. So right about now, directors share the link that viewers can interact with us so that we can get this conversation going. We're able to build one another, even get experience from people out there, what they've gone through, what they've done, if they've survived such an incident. You know, this platform is educate. We
as CJ is saying, our viewers there would love to hear from you, those survivors of such situations. And even if you heard it or you witnessed a situation, how did it happen? If you resolved it, how did you resolve? Our director, please share the link for our viewers to come in. We'll be so grateful if you could come into the studio, or you can share your contribution or your opinion in the commentary box. We'll still read your comment and you'll be able to save someone. Evangelist, the question is, what are the flags which you are going to see, or what are the indicators that are going to show you that this thing, it will not end well, or one of us may lose their lives? What are the indicators, or are there indicators?
Yes, there are indicators. There are indicators. There are times when you will be able to see the indicators, and there are certain times when the indicators will not be seen. It will just happen without thought. Now, indicators, in a situation whereby there are indicators, sometimes you find that in most cases, when you argue, when you discuss, when you try to bring out a matter, it does not end well. It does end by just either putting it aside. Okay, teti vireke tabi, teti vireke ni. Sinifuna kunichita so ni, teti vireke. A solution is not found, and yet there is a problem mwa vireka chabe. That is a problem because the pressure will be accumulating. It will be piling. And one day when it is going to explode, that person will easily pick a knife and stab and kill that person. So people who do not resolve their matters, watch your life. You better resolve a matter, no matter how hot it is, it must be discussed and be resolved amicably. And two, as we always say, do not discuss a matter when both of you are in the heat of your anger. You will not be able to find a solution. So when a matter is not discussed, it is shelved under the carpet. You must know that it will start piling and it will create a problem. That is one other indicator. The second indicator is short-temperedness. Short-temperedness. This person easily gets angry. You know, a person who easily gets angry has no control of himself or herself, because if they had brakes, they would apply their brakes on their anger, and this is what we call self-control. So people who have no self-control and easily get angered, those are in most cases they will end up doing the unthinkable, not right. And the other one is a person who likes provoking the friend. You like provoking, either even by beating the wife. You are always beating her. You are always beating her. Or you are always beating him. One day she will try to defend herself. In the process of defending herself, or in the process of defending himself, they will use a lethal instrument and a weapon and kill you. Not because they wanted or they had planned it. It's not premeditated, but it is something that has come as a result of anger, which they failed to control. So let's make sure, or let's ensure we control our temper. We don't beat people anytime. You don't, scold your wife. You do not, call her names, putting down. All these things, they frustrate and cause anger. The other one, it is where a person does not think, he has no plans of killing, but in the process, he kills. For example, you go for work, unexpectedly you return home. As you return home, you pass through the kitchen, then you don't find your wife, you go straight into the bedroom, then you find another man on top of Kilimanjaro. What is he doing? He's cultivating the field without your authority. Now, what will happen is that, your mind will start racing and you may not be able to handle it. This is where somebody will stand up and go to the kitchen, pick up a knife or anything that is lethal and use it on somebody and kill. This is a situation whereby somebody has been provoked to the point where they lose their brains and kill. So such a person, there are no indications that you would say, well, because of this is a symptom. No. But those signs whereby we are able to see that this is leading to that, those are areas which we need to avoid because they will lead us into troubles. So what we must understand is that, once we begin fighting, fighting has no rules. That no, don't use a gun, use a stick, don't use a stone, or just use kisses. No. When we are fighting, we don't use kisses. We use lethal objects that will kill somebody. So those are some of the indicators that this person can actually be hostile, including people who want to fight their wives or their partners when they are drunk. When you are in a drunken state, you have no control over yourself. So in most cases, if your partner is always fighting you when they are drunk, you must know that one day it shall not be well with you. So this is my contribution to this question. Thank you.
It might not be well with you, because you should learn that the more you are fighting, you are beating that woman or that man, you are training them, you are making them stronger, and you are putting them to their defense. And one day they will be in their defensive mood. It will be very difficult for you. And one of the things, Evangelist, I think the other critical thing I've seen I've really realized in marriages is unresolved conflicts. As you said, somebody
Yes,
doesn't resolve a conflict, you just leave it like this. There's that. No, you are trying to intimidate. Believe you me, you are building anger in that woman, or you are building anger in that man. The day they will react to you,
correct.
don't blame anybody, blame yourself. Now, Evangelist, as much as we've talked about this, what do we think, especially like if we come, me, I think also, as I've said, like the tradition, the norms, the values, the culture values we have, and even society. What is your comment? Because society has also contributed, you know, society has its own norms and stigma, and it has come up with a certain standard in marriages that has also created people who are married to be suffocated. Like, even when your marriage or your relationship is intoxicated, you stay in that relationship. I think those are coming from society. What is your reaction?
You are right, Himba. You are very, very, very right. Sometimes the society actually adds to the problems that we have in our homes. I'll give you an example. They will say, shipikisha, shipikisha, shipikisha. Now, what does that mean? It means if whatever comes your way, you need to develop a thick skin for the sake of your children. If he's going to use a club, inkoli, just develop a thick skin. If he's going to use a gun, just use a thick skin, a knife, whatever it is. Now, it is that teaching.
Evangelist, some they even say, if he doesn't beat you, he doesn't love you. If he's not jealous of you, he doesn't love you, or she doesn't love you.
Yes. So now these are teachings that do not help anybody. So it's coming from society. Kushipikisha. Then no, if he doesn't beat you, then he doesn't love you. That is bad. Then the other issue is that obuchende bwa mwaume tabona ule chupo. So the man is allowed to misbehave, and you don't know to what extent that lady will be injured. Sometimes community actually can add to the problems that we have if we are not very careful. For me, what I can say is that do not stay in a toxic marriage where you become a slave. Even if you are a Christian, no. God is not happy when he sees his own people killing each other or hammering each other, fighting and injuring each other. If you read the Bible, it says, I was there. He said God hates divorce. Malachi chapter 2, verse 14 to 16. He says he was there when you were, being unfaithful and you were violent. God was there. So God is not pleased when he sees his people fighting and quarreling. So the issue of society into our marriages, we need to be very, very careful, because certain issues that they propagate do not help the society. They do not help families. Instead, actually, we are actually instigating families into fighting, into violence. So, Himba, in short, society has also actually contributed to violence and also a killing of of couples in families. So we need to be very careful. Hello?
Thank you, Evangelist. I hope
Yeah.
I'm audible. Great. So just on what Himba said, for me, I'll take the religious angle. You've mentioned about the Bible. Most churches, most pastors, they do not encourage divorce. They will not tell a couple to divorce. Olwo bamenyane bwanji yauti bantu balalwana balapwayana. Okay? They quote what you had said, God hates divorce. And you find a lot of couples fail to get out of marriage. They fail to divorce because of the same. What is your take? Is divorce a sin? Okay. Evangelist.
First of all, marriage is permanent. Marriage is not a contract. Marriage is a covenant. It is not a contract. It is a covenant. Two, God created marriage to be permanent, not to be temporal. And so when people divorce, it injures the feelings of God. He is not happy with such people. But the same God, the same verse which I gave you, the same God does not want to see people fight each other and two being unfaithful to each other. No. God will not be happy to see two people fight and then in the end they kill each other. No. For me, all I can say is, when you see that life is not taking you anywhere and you are living as slaves or you are a slave to the other person, think twice. Think twice. Yes, you said, the pastors will not divorce you, will not allow you to divorce. Even me here where I'm seated, I do not allow anybody to divorce. But I would want to protect the life of an individual. That barakujaya, barakubwankura, amana ukujaya, wakukwata umbi. So choose one of the two. Either you remain a slave in that marriage for the sake of your children, and then in the end you don't make it, you are even killed. Or remain unmarried, but with your children, with your life. So for me, all I can say is that that is why we need to be very careful. One of the reasons why we get into this, it's because of the way we get courtship, CJ and Himba. We court people we don't know well, and we marry people we do not understand. I'll repeat. We court people we don't know well, and we marry people we don't understand. It is in a courtship where you are going to learn about the behavior, the character, the temper of this person, the life of this individual, who you want to tie your life to. So if we had ample time for us to court and learn that person and understand that person without really pushing ourselves into marriage, then we would avoid a lot of things. But a lot of young people, once they get into the marriage, what they want is that white gown, which they put on. You call it whatever it is. I call it the mosquito net. The lady would want to put a mosquito net at in wedding dress in a navara, so it had a tail, a long tail, whatever it is. That's what they want, and make a name and spend millions and millions of kwachas just for one day, for a few hours, and then from there they go back to poverty. So the issue here is that, let us spend a lot of time learning our friends, our partner. Let us know our partner better, and also know yourself. your weaknesses, your strength, what you are capable of doing, and what you cannot handle, so that we do not become a burden or a problem to the person that we've married. So the issue here is that we just have to be careful in the way we choose partners for our life.
Ati uchende wamwe ometabona ulang'anda ulaleta amalwere n'enfwa. Ulaleta amalwere n'enfwa. Marriage is
nomba amalwere n'enfwa nga bafwa bonse fye munganda mule tekona ulenganda uko.
Uchende bwamwe omwo bwaleta amalwere n'enfwa. That's why we should not tolerate such things. Uchende bwamwe ulaleta amalwere bulaleta enfwa. And bulaleta nama orphans. Bulaleta nama street kids. Just because of one man who went out. He came, killed the wife, killed after baipana bena bafwa abana bashala with no parents, they become orphans, no one to look after them, they become street kids. However, marriage is not a career. Yakuyafiwa uleimfwa nena ali upwa ifwe tuli bana kashitwali shipikisha moneni nentimbo baloma twali kala. Marriage is not a career, and there's no society for unmarried people and for married people. There's no grave for unmarried people and for married people. We all go to the same mortuary, we all go to the same graveyard. So at the end of the day, love yourself, appreciate yourself.
You Himba. Watch over you.
Well, thank you. Now, I want to bring another side of this situation. I once heard a certain teacher saying that a certain counselor saying that a faithful person is a very dangerous person, especially when it comes to things like infidelity, and they are the ones that usually kill. Now, in the event that one finds themselves in a situation where you are cheated on, okay, or you found yourself in a situation where your partner has really twisted your nerves and the rage, what is your advice in terms of how you can calm yourself down or how you can handle the situation? Evangelist.
Before Evangelist comes in, CJ, we've got Wom Kelebai.
Oh yeah. I've been calling on Wom Kelebai, but I haven't got a response. So Wom Kelebai, you're welcome. It's been a while. Want to hear your voice.
Nitumezi muchwani sichavasa Jesus sichavasa bulozi sichavasa butonga
andende sha bazwachwani
naviketile
Nisha
litumeza urusha.
Don't respond as say like that woman on ZNBC over my language, using my language, that I should call the local broadcast.
Actually,
ZNBC.
you should actually speak in Tonga.
Giovanni, please. Tulamugonga. Na twalibyogoha. Wom Kelebai, it's good to have you. Please go ahead, please. Be free, Manguruga.
Okay, Twarumbaka Patrick. What I can say over the issue that I just found about the divorcing issues to do with marriage, should a marriage covenant be permanent even under an abusive relationship or religiously? Well, I think Shaabula has tried to tackle it, even though he was trying to be nice around this topic because he doesn't want to be
and polite.
Yes, he's trying to be nice with the topic, to say he doesn't want to say it the way it is. what I can only conclude to that is that the decision, rather before that, is that religious teaching or often emphasizes love and compassion and mutual respect. Therefore, if a marriage is characterized by abuse, beatings, psychological, physical, mentally, then that's a violation of those principles. Therefore, even religious marriage, if you are married under religiously or you are the priest, I don't think there is any priest or pastor or evangelist that is going to allow a couple that is violating these principles that the religious they're emphasizing, that is love, compassion, mutual respect. Once you violate these, because you cannot exercise mutual respect when you are busy slapping and abusing or cheating on your partner. Therefore, that is a ground that an abused partner can use to go to court and divorce according to the religious beliefs. That person can use the reasons of the religious. So there's nothing like something, even if you have made those vows, those vows can actually be nullified by way of violating them in a marriage. So ngati wachita violate my vows, there's nothing like it is permanent. Therefore, we cannot divorce a couple. That's not true. The priest can actually even help a couple that is facing, that is going through that abuse, that are not leading a godly marriage, or that with the principles that is outlined by the religious people. The priest and the pastors, anyone religious, can help the couple to divorce. So there's nothing like, because ni chikwati cha Catholic, then you cannot divorce. That's not true. And also, divorce, it means you are terminating the contract, the social contract. So a social contract can be terminated also by way of death. Smamen. By way of death, or if someone has become incompetent, or not incompetent. What I wanted to say is something like Wankara Chipuba, you run mad, that you cannot run a home, or you have been imprisoned, and then you have no possibility of coming out of prison. You cannot leave your wife or your husband being outside waiting until you come out or until you die. That's when they will go and move forward and remarry. No. So that there's always what they say, whatever goes up must come down. So muchikwati na cheve chimasira chingasire chikwati na imfa, chingasire chikwati na kufunta, chingasire chikwati ngati umenya mukazi wako o mwamuna wako o muvutana, you are abusing your partner, chingasire chikwati. So there's nothing that is permanent. Ndalomba kapati.
Thank you very much, Abum Kilebai. It's great to have you. I've missed you. It's been a while. To my surprise, only Himba who was brought out to Uchende Wamong. You like quoting that one, and you haven't yet mentioned it.
Yeah, because she mentioned it, because she said it, so I don't want to repeat it. So that's how Himba and me, we are one. So it's okay.
Now,
yes.
Evangelist mentioned there's one thing that Evangelist mentioned concerning the foundation of a marriage. These days, Timona Maningi Machiranga Muriro Shani, okay, all these fancy functions where the community really shakes. And then a few months later, divorce. A few months later, people are fighting, and now what is the is there a direct relationship in terms of the foundation, okay, the courtship, the period that people are in courtship before they get in marriage, with such things as violence in a home and eventually these killings we are seeing? Is there a direct relationship? Himba.
Thank you so much, CJ. I think I'm going to respond from this angle. Maybe people are going to call me a little bit controversial, but I'm going to go this route. I think when we look at whatever is happening now in society, there's a lot of chilangamlilo, a lot of people marrying, which is a very beautiful thing. And as we are talking, it's a sign that marriage has not lost its value. It's still a valid societal institution. However, as much as these marriages are taking place, I think there's something that we've not done as a society. We've not also changed the type of teachings, the types of counseling which are being given when people are marrying. We are still using the old tactics. As much as we may use these old tactics to counsel the young people who are getting married now, we should also understand that the world now has moved to a certain position. The world has been globalized, and there's a lot of things happening around. There's this global village which is being created. People watch my TVs, people movie. So in this contemporary society we have now, things they've changed. So how I wish even those tradition teachings, they are also revolving, they are also doing more research, because the more teachings which are there, or even when let's talk about, okay, I'm going to be a little bit free because we don't have a pastor, because me, I'm not a pastor, and if a pastor would come and defend themselves, me, I'm going to speak as a civil I'm going to see from the civil society angle. But basically what happens is the world has changed. There's global village which is being created. A lot of things. People are exchanging cultures. People are learning. So even our counseling, let it change. In the past, a man was a breadwinner. Nowadays, it's not happening. And being a breadwinner in a home, it also kept the marriages, because the woman could not move out because there has financial support, will be taken away. A woman was meant to stay home to look after the children. The man was meant to go out and fetch for the family. But now women are breadwinners. So I'm not going to tolerate a man whom I pay the rentals for, whom I feed, to come and start beating me. I'm not going to do it. So society and the counseling should come out to that angle. Let's look at such marriages where a woman is a breadwinner. As a man, how do you handle such a woman? How do you handle such a partner? Because remember that financial status you had as a man, it was giving you some certain authority in a society, in a traditional way. But nowadays it is gone. And that's why probably we're also seeing a lot of divorces. So let the counseling also... Exactly. Basically. So also we can say, let these people involved in these marriages also create a global village. The society is changing, is revolving. So if you are marrying this couple, what kind of a couple are they? Who is a breadwinner here? Who is spearheading? If a woman is a breadwinner, let's tune the minds of a man that so you expect to. There's no way Olobalandati, you are a degree holder, degree walaisha. Yes, you live a degree. But look, I may be a degree holder. My husband doesn't work. Me, I'm a director. And being a director, you're managing a lot of people around you. You've got a lot of, you are stressed where you are coming from work. Then I get home, I'm told, can you kneel when saving me? Can you do that kind? So there are these little things which you can bend. As long as Nanji Pikila, it's okay. As long as Anji Tlefi, it's okay. There should be a balancing. So Let's look at society as it is now, as a contemporary society, not vakudala. That's why abantu bapayana manje. Because we are doing vakudala,
Himba, so you're saying what degree could be kugwada?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Let me say, this is a woman who's a business. Let me give an example of a businesswoman, right? This woman is a businesswoman. She's running a big business. And apparently, kulibamuna, let's not beat about the bush. We have men who are not doing anything in these homes. When they're even waiting for the income the wife is going to bring home, then even women, they are there, you know. Your husband has gone out to hustle for you. You are just seated home. And then he comes, you want to give him another stress, you know. So what I'm trying to say, society has it that as a woman, no matter I'm from a business, wherever I'm from, whether nachia ku business here, I went to hustle, nachia pange tumbua. When my husband, whether he works or not, I need to put water for him, I need to cook for him, I need to do everything. Believe you me, a woman becomes stressed. And then there are now issues that are coming in because this woman is suffocating. Even the rudeness we are talking about is start coming because she's actually becoming suffocated. So as a partner, create an atmosphere where this woman or your partner is going to breathe. Hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. You create an atmosphere where the partner will breathe, not where you are pushing and you are making her to be to create a stressful and intoxicated environment around her. Hope I've made it clear.
Agonistic. Yeah. Thank you, Himba. Let me just read what we have in the comment section. Mr. Abia, it's great to know that you're following. He says, it's only death, and when we commit adultery, that's the only two reasons. Marriage, okay. It's only death, and when one commits adultery, in a marriage can end. A marriage can end. These are two reasons only. Okay. Then he says they are killing each other because of failing to accept the wrong that one has made. Okay. Thank you for that contribution. Wamkelebai, looking at why are couples killing each other, and time seems to be running, but I want you to give your proper submissions. You joined in late, but I want to give you at least 5 minutes, if hopefully not more, so that you can also express yourself on what we are talking about. Why are couples killing each other? We've seen a lot of couples killing each other in the recent past. These numbers keep on increasing as GBV.
You know, mental health is something that people should consider as a very serious problem that can arise as we grow in any given society. And as human beings, we are prone to we can actually ignite, we can switch to something else. So we need to also understand, because we ignore some of these small, little, tiny signs, but we ignore because we think we are immortal, or we can pull through. It will never happen. It can never happen to us. But unfortunately, it does. It will just find yourself in that situation, and you'll be failing to come out and find a good solution. So the reason why many couples today end up killing each other is because sometimes we don't court for a long time. We don't learn to know each other. We are too quick. We are in a speed mood. We want to rush things. The more you rush, the lesser you learn about your future, your prospective significant other. And you only start learning, getting to know each other, whilst in a relationship. That's when you want to now, that's when you start seeing now the cards, the true colors of your partner. And for you to wanting to change that person, to start behaving in a way that you feel it's okay, because you ignored the fact that when you were courting, you ignored to ask the obvious question or to get to know the person. That is where the problem is, because Valanda tikandolonga na ibenda na ikulakale, and you want to bend the ruler. You want to make sure that the candolo stretches when it is already fully grown. It won't stretch. It will just what? Break. That's what is happening in almost all these relationships, because couples, they want to try to control each other so that they could live according to their imagination. They are not they don't want to lead their lives, their true life, but they want to copy, because they read on social media. They see how others are busy portraying. People are busy portraying fake profiles, fake family ties, fake good, well-defined family arrangement on social media. Yet, in reality, there's trouble in paradise. Akale balemba ennyimbo kuta chipale cha pamusebo mayo munganda kanshi mule na muli amachushi nafwa. You see, you pay so much attention to the outside world. We want to please the outside world, what they should see, what we create this facade that people should look at us as perfect, happy. We are rich, we have money, we are a happy couple, we are the chosen one. Yet you are failing to lead, to act the way you are supposed to. So by so doing, we are busy pressuring ourselves. And when we pressure ourselves, those that are affected are our significant others, because we want to turn them into the world that we have created out there, which is not the reality. By so doing, when something that you are trying to force is not coming forth, is not adjusting to your expectation, what happens? There will be fire. And that's why people today, they end up killing each other. Every human being has a breaking point. So for someone to even reach an extent of putting a hand onto something, it means they have tried to resolve matters, but the problem still persists and people are avoiding this. So instead, they resort to the last resort is where you start touching one another, or resort to wanting to teach a lesson of your significant other. And at the end of the day, this is where you find, as you are in that state of anger, because you don't know what you are doing, when you are really, you have reached that high temperature, you cannot, you think you are doing something, you are just threatening, but it's not. In reality, it's not a threat. You are really doing it. If you have a knife and you are pointing at someone in nala kuchunga knife, kanshi yena knife na ingira kare mu body. Before you know it, where you think in your own mind, you think you are joking or you think you are just scaring, yet you have done it and somebody has died. So these are issues that we need to look out for and seek help. Be ready, be willing. When you see something is not okay in you've become temperamental, suddenly you have very argumentative, munganda, you just lay low, get help, because mental health is very important. You need to check yourself. Go get help from our medical practitioners. We have so many psychologists that can come to our aid and save our marriage, or save you from going to jail, or save your lives. And if in Tungana Shupa, don't resort to violence, because the other person, they will always try to avoid pain. What do they do by avoiding pain? To prevent the pain that you are busy inflicting on them, they will come up with a defense mechanism. And how do you see that? And when negative plus negative comes together, you know what happens. They don't meet. And this is where you find couples end up killing one another. So respect and listen to yourself. Trust your body. If you don't, go and seek help. Seek help. It will never, you are not going to be broken down. Ngamwaya poka help from, especially the professional help. Not to bantu ture mono tu achabe chabe to ma preacher menu ture onaola mayanda. After all, today me fly afterwards. Twice a mumbali twakwewa. No, just leave your husband. Then tomorrow, ekaleisa na kunganda yo that no, mami, help me. I dreamt about you. So go to the professional, because abantu abengi, people are not normal anymore. The world is changing. You know, we are sick. We have mental illness disorder in our society. And also, when you are dating, this is my last point. When you are dating, try to ask real issues, especially mental health issues. Talk about, find out about the history, the health history of the family that you are going into. You know, learn from those things. Ask questions. So, is your father alive? Is your mom? Are they together? No, they are not. What happened? No, my dad died. Oh, chichabepe. No heart problem. Why should not wish? But oh, mu family umu mwali baka a heart issue. So when you get into a relationship together, you try to be careful and help your partner issues relating to the heart. Even Namukafiala, you want to prevent them from having inherited these heart problems. They start eating healthy and exercise, and you are careful. You don't anger them on small little things that they balwale na BP. So you have to learn about the history. That's my position. Health history. Sorry, that's my take.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for very elaborate. I can say there. We're coming to the dying minute. We need to say our bye-byes and give our closing remarks. Himba, your conclusion.
Is our baba, is it Tonga or Rosie or Bemba? Bye.
It's both Tonga and Lozi. And Bemba.
Mixing up.
That's what we did to say our babais. I'm thinking of my wife. She's here next to me and she's looking at, she's laughing. Say, what is babai?
Baba it's local. It's local. Tell my right.
Sedukani. Yes, Himba, your conclusion.
Okay. As we conclude the program, I'm not going to concentrate about a man out there. I'm going to concentrate about my fellow woman out there. Marriage is not a prison. If you feel those are things of the past. Those children are going to grow and they'll live into that marriage. What will happen? Above all, the world is changing now. Actually, you are going to find very healthy children who come from a single or broken home. They've made it. Yes, there are challenges for children who come from broken relationships, broken marriages. But if your marriage is becoming intoxicated, walk out of that marriage. Don't wait for that pastor who is telling you that God hates divorce. But I disagree with you. Run for your life. Go and be alive for your children. But they are able to say, and they're able to say, than your children, you leave them without you, and then you're in the grave. You need to love yourself. You need to value yourself. You need to appreciate. And you also need to be a hardworking woman for you to sustain yourself. Don't depend on your partner. Don't depend on your man. Work hard, be a supporting system to that man in the house. Work as a team, support each other, and above all, love yourself. I submit.
Thank you very much, Himba. Viewers, we are very glad that you managed to be with us on tonight's program. Please do share this broadcast. Follow all our social handles. That is Facebook. It's Ubuntu channels or Ubuntu Live. YouTube, it's Ubuntu channel. X, Ubuntu channel. Do share these socials with your colleagues, with family, so that we are able to and educate each other. The discussions we have here are real life situations meant to build and ensure that our homes are moving in the right directions, homes are strengthened. You never know who needs the help. So share and let them learn something that can help save their life, save their marriage, as well as family. Well, this is where tonight's program comes to a close. Evangelist had to drop out to technical and network issues. We are grateful that he managed to be with us and gave his elaborate deliberations. Thank you, Bom Kilewai, for joining Himba. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Abia. And thank you, viewers, for just giving us a comment, a like, and being part of tonight's broadcast. Well, Emmanuel Punika, who's been our director, Joe Bowen, this is where we call it a night. Thank you, everyone. God bless, and see you next week for another exciting episode of PanSAKA.